Hello, welcome to this interesting Thought for the Day video. I say interesting because we're kind of coming to the end of a chapter in our Thought for the Day videos, where from next week we've got, as well as some familiar faces, we've got some fresh new ones as well, who I'm sure are going to bring some really exciting new perspectives and angles and thoughts for us to think about and watch next week. But for today, we're also coming to the end of a chapter, the chapter we've been looking at most of this week, John chapter 6. And if you haven't seen the videos from earlier this week, I really encourage you to watch them because they're absolutely fantastic. But basically, Jesus has been teaching his disciples, not just the 12, but this wider group of people. And it gets to the point in the end of the chapter where a lot of them are finding it too difficult. They're finding his teaching too hard. In fact, so hard that they're deciding to turn around and stop following him. And it got me thinking about our response when things get too hard. Like now in coronavirus, in lockdown, how do we respond to difficult situations we encounter? Do we stay strong throughout all of them, or do we find it difficult? I think for a lot of us who have been Christians for a while, we've probably seen people who have stopped being Christians because they've started to find it too difficult. And is that what we want our lives to look like? Do we want to stop when it gets too hard, or do we want to follow Jesus every step of the way throughout everything? When our whole life falls apart, when we experience suffering beyond what we could even imagine, do we stay with God throughout it all? My prayer that for us today and throughout this week is that we can be like Simon Peter at the end of this passage, where Jesus asks him, do you want to stop following me as well? And he says, Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. We have come to believe and know that you are the Holy One of God.